Recently, my friend Dan purchased a 911 Targa, and I was a bit opposed to the idea. I told him, if you want a car to take on our morning drives in our car club, you should look for something that's a bit more performance focused. Whereas the Targa I find is quite reserved and gives you more of a laid back feel. So when Porsche said, Tommy, would you like to borrow a new 992.2 Targa GTS? I said, you know what, why not? What's all the fuss? Dan seems to love his. Let's see what I think. So with the 992.2 generation, a few things have changed. On the interior, we no longer have a switch to start button, it's now push to start. I wouldn't have an issue with that if the push to start button didn't look like it came out of a Volkswagen Golf. Also, no longer do you have an analog rev counter, it's all digital, which can be frustrating. However, it means that you can customize it to how you want it to be. So I'm not bothered by it, but I understand why Porsche diehards are a bit opposed to it. That's the inside. The outside is a bit of a different story though. So on the new 911s, you get a redesigned front bumper and you now have vertical fins. No longer do you have indicators down here. They've in fact been moved towards the headlights. You also have your adaptive controls that sit proud in the middle of the car. The design has changed slightly because 911 enthusiasts hate change. We also have the new headlight system that are now horizontal. It looks quite angry, like an angry anime character, I feel. Along the side of the car, you can't tell that anything's changed, but like I said before, this is a Targa, meaning that this much of the roof can fold away and you still get your nice body line. It's a very, very nice and beautiful looking car. This piece of glass here, this single piece of glass, I don't want to know how much this costs to replace, but I'm sure that it is incredibly expensive. The rear of the car has changed, so now you have central exit exhaust, and I feel like they're trying to bring the GTS cars a bit closer to the GT cars, so they have that aggressive and imposing look, I would say. This car is spec'd in gentian blue. It's also got silver wheels. This is the new design wheels. I'm not really a fan of them in silver because you have this ridiculous lip that doesn't really make sense. I think it would have been better on the GTS wheels, the center locking ones. The interior of the car is also looking like it's about to melt because it's in truffle, or as I like to call it, chocolate brown. It's not my flavor. I like chocolate, just not on the interior of my car. It looks strange. But hey, if you're 50 years old, that might appeal to you. If you're wondering why I'm opening the frunk, it's not because I want you to show you this massive piece of storage space that you get back here. It's because I want to remove this so you can see the 1.2 kilowatt lithium battery that powers the hybrid system on this car. The hybrid system on this car. It's been updated to now have an electric turbo system that can recover and discharge, allowing you to make turbo lag imperceptible. Well, that's what they say. We'll find out in a second. It also has a hybrid motor in the gearbox, which means that you can have an extra 50 horsepower boost as you drive along. It's very complicated, it's very intelligent. Do 911 people care? Yes, they care a lot. Do they actually care? Probably not. I think it helps the car. One thing it does remove is the classic Porsche startup sound. Because it's hybrid, it just starts straight away. But you know what? This is the way we're moving. We're moving into the future. And it's nice to have less turbo lag. And also, because now it's a single turbo, you have a nicer sound. Take a listen. I feel like this would be a great car for crossing Europe. But let's say you get to Europe and then suddenly you're being chased down by a bunch of angry mobsters. You slip it into Sport Plus, you press the overboost button, and it will move. Direction change is great in this car. You know what, at the end of the day, what is it? It's a Porsche, it's a 911. Those are two things that are synonymous with performance. Whether it's the heaviest variant of the 911 or the lightest, you're always going to be impressed by the way it handles, especially compared to the competition. And that PDK gearbox is just perfection. But now we have this T hybrid system. You can see that a few of the things that come with that are the improved throttle response, not only because the electric motor in the turbo spools it up to virtually reduce turbo lag, but also because the hybrid power system can now power things like the air conditioning, the roof, all your auxiliary things that usually will require a parasitic belt-driven system are no longer. as you know, I've been struggling to spec my 911 Touring. One of the big questions was, do I go for the comfort seats or do I go for the bucket seats? I have the previous generation, the 918 seats in my GT3 RS, and let's just say they are a bit of a challenge to enjoy for extended periods of time. However, these adaptive comfort sports seats hug you in very nicely and they're nice and soft. I'm not sure if that's just this upgraded leather, but it feels nice to be here. And it makes me think, should I just put this in my GT3 Touring or should I go all out and get the bucket seats? Ironically, the bucket seats are actually cheaper. So that leaves it up to a debate, but you can get these in pretty much any color you want. It may just sound like I'm a Targa enthusiast, but this car is actually a lot more impressive than I realized. The last few days I've had it, I've just been doing daily stuff in it, but until you get to a nice windy road, you can really be like, wow, I forgot this is a Porsche. It is just so nice to drive. It's so pleasant, so comfortable, especially with these adaptive comfort seats, or adaptive sports seats is what they're actually called, but I just call them comfort seats. It's not all good though. I shouldn't just sit here and praise this car. It has some flaws. One of the flaws, obviously the Targa roof makes a lot of noise. It adds a lot of weight and increases the center of gravity. Also, the T-hybrid system, great as it is, it doesn't eliminate turbo lag like they said it does. There's a tiny delay, but it's so imperceptible. But I think because everyone's saying it eliminates turbo lag, I've been expecting almost a naturally aspirated feel. And then also 911s now are a bit too heavy. This car comes in on paper at 1,750 kg, which is very heavy for a two-door sports car. I remember the days when 911s were a lot less. Those are just some nitpicky things. The car is great. If you were looking for a convertible 911, I would say probably get this over a cab. I think the silhouette of this car is a lot nicer than a cabriolet. And I also think it's a bit more unique, whereas the cab kind of looks a bit half-baked sometimes. If I was to spec this car, I would definitely not get this truffle interior. It is not my taste. I know someone out there will be like, that looks gorgeous, but genuinely, I do not like it. Especially with this gentian blue, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense to me. But I get what they were going for. They're trying to make an executive, relaxed, older man, sophisticated spec, but it's just giving granddad. This 911 Targa 4 GTS. I mean, if you're getting one, maybe just GTS is all you need, or 4 GTS, or the Targa is not necessary to me. However, I think I was right. This car isn't performance focused, and that's not because it can't do performance stuff. It just doesn't make you want to. When I'm driving this car, I just want to chill because it's comfortable, it's relaxing, it's just a nice environment to be in. However, for 145,000 Great British pounds of zero options, it's an expensive environment to get yourself into. This one that we're sat in right now is spec'd to 175,000 Great British pounds. Unless you really want a Targa, that seems really expensive to me. However, it's enjoyable. One of the more enjoyable cars I've driven this year. It's just something different. It's not trying to be another 0 to 60 car or another track performance car. It's literally just trying to be it, and that's a Targa. I like the GTS a lot. I don't think I would buy one. I prefer when someone else owns one, because I can say, oh wow, that's a very beautiful car, GTS. Looks nice, got a big piece of glass, but I don't know, I just would probably rather have a regular GTS if I really wanted a GTS. And if I wanted a convertible, I'll probably get a Turbo S cab, because this car is really expensive. It looks beautiful though. Do you know what they should do? A turbo Targa. I think that would be awesome. Targa Turbo.